What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Tribe of Runners. I'm your host, Liz Myers, and today I have a very special guest, Lucia Leonard. And this guest I just recently met this year when she was out tackling the Arizona Monster 300, and a great mutual friend of Leah. Well, I was out there to crew my buddy Charlie, and she was crewing you, and we started chatting. And social media does wonders, and I've been following along, and you've been doing some amazing things, which we will get to. But welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. Yeah, it was great to meet you at long last. Been seeing you on social media, and yeah, you always feel like you know people, and then you finally meet in person. So yeah, that's great.
Yes, yes, it is. That is so true. And you've been doing a lot this year, which we will get into, which is super, super cool. But how and when did you start getting into running?
I got into running, it was probably back in 2004. I was about to get married. I was overweight, needed to lose some weight. So just started going to the gym, doing a bit of wogging, as I'd call it, walking, jogging. And yeah, that progressed into like running my first 10K race. That progressed to a half marathon, which I thought was like the pinnacle of running at that time. And yeah, then first marathon. And when I was running that, there was a pacer, they have the pacers for the sub 4 hours or whatever. And yeah, he was wearing a shirt that was about 100K race. And I was just like blown away. I'm like, what the hell? People run 100 kilometers? Like, I can't even imagine finishing this race. And yeah, I think that kind of planted a seed. And later that year, my husband bought me a coffee table book for my birthday, The World's Toughest Endurance Challenges. And we'd had a few drinks, and he said, open up the book, and the first thing your finger falls upon, we'll go and do it together. So yeah, I fell upon the Kalahari Extreme Marathon in South Africa, and that was a 7-day multi-stage race, self-sufficient race through the South African desert. And we went and did that together in 2013, and I was hooked ever since. So the adventure was just so fun, and the people you meet and just how it made me feel. I just thought, yeah, this is for me. So
That's
I was
awesome.
hooked. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. And what a way to get into it. I think we all experience multiple different ways of, like we dabble in for health reasons or whatever the case may be. And it's so crazy how quickly we become so addicted. And then before you know it, we're doing all these crazy hundreds, 200s, and 300s for yourself. So it's super awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy to think, now I call myself an athlete. If I look back to 2004, it's like, an athlete? Are you kidding me? It's like it's so far removed from who I was. But yeah, I love the whole change.
Yeah, definitely. That's so cool. And your partner runs with you as well, your husband. That's awesome.
Yes, well, runs with me. We do some training together. He's a lot faster than me. Yeah, he just finished Oregon 200 in like 56 hours. So that's, yeah, a hell of a lot quicker than me. So yeah, we don't necessarily run together all the time, but
Great.
some training sessions.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's nice that you both have that commonality and you get to, you went out and crewed and paced him, correct?
I did, yeah, crewed him and paced him just 11 miles because I was still recovering from my last race. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's nice, yeah, to understand what that person's going through. Like when he was having a little meltdown and throwing his toys out of the pram, I was just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You're not quitting. Like, just we're going to give you a sleep. You'll be fine.
Yes, yes. So cool. But yeah, congratulations to him on finishing Oregon. I know the 200, I know we were literally just talking and I was out there for Cascades. The fires are unbelievable and sad that, things like this had to happen, but definitely the right calls. It's just very, very
Yeah.
awesome that he got to finish.
Yeah, we had 5 finishers, and yeah, he finished second, so that was pretty exciting. But yeah, it's just terrible for the other runners and the race organization that got cancelled, and Cascade as well. Terrible. But
Yeah.
yeah, right call from all races because the fires are getting bigger. So yeah, not a good thing.
Yes, yeah, it is a crazy thing. I know when we got there, I was like, oh my gosh, like these fires are kind of close. This is not good. Didn't really think anything much of their other than that, and then realizing it was getting closer. I'm not sure how you guys were, but during the race, we were like paying attention to where the fire was and where the evacuations notice were because we were close. So we were like, oh my gosh, like what if we get evacuated mid race and trying to deal with all of that craziness? But it was wild.
Yeah, well, we had smoke from your fires that was at at Sisters, and so we didn't actually have a fire here. And it was lightning that struck on Sunday morning that sparked the fire here. So there was no fire, but then it was literally on the race course. So yeah, they had to call it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw some videos of people going to like an aid station and the fire there, and I was like, this is insane. So definitely
yeah.
made the right calls. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But you
Mm.
mentioned you were recovering from your race. So you just ran a run across Scotland or 200 across Scotland. What's the title for it?
Yeah, literally, it's called the Race Across Scotland, so
Very
very
cool.
fitting.
Yeah.
And yeah, it goes from the west coast of Scotland at Port Patrick all the way to the east coast in Coburn's Path. And yeah, it's 200 and its billed as 215, it's 220 on the GPX. My watch said 226. So we're
Oh,
somewhere in the middle there.
yes. Awesome.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
before we kind of get into that race, I have tons of questions. It's on a beautiful race. I've heard so much about it from Leah, to be 100% honest.
Mm,
And I know you went
yeah.
out there with her. But you had a big year this year. You did the Monster 300, and then I've seen a few other races, and then this 200. So how did you
Yeah.
approach this year in training with going into such bigger races?
Yeah, well, I guess the longest one was Arizona Monster 300.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I kicked off the year with the Coldwater Rumble in January, the 100-mile race there as a bit of a kickstart in Arizona. Thought we'll run on the terrain. And yeah, then just did, yeah, lots of training, lots of back-to-back long runs, big mileage weeks. And yeah, did Arizona Monster in April. And then, yeah, in June, I was doing Broken Arrow Triple Crown.
Mhm.
So I thought I'd do something a little more fun and short where, you're actually done by dinner time back in bed or on the couch. So, yeah, that was kind of fun. The Triple Crown is actually a vertical ascent on the Friday. You do a 46K on the Saturday, and then Sunday is 26K or 23K, sorry. And yeah, loads of vert in the whole thing. And yeah, that was an interesting weekend because we had the ascent cut short by high winds. I got evacuated off the race course with 300 other runners on Saturday due to snowstorms in the middle of June. And yeah, then Sunday went off without a hitch. So yeah, I've never had a race cancelled mid race until that race. And yeah, did that. And yeah, then just continued training and went over to Scotland to run that. So yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about the Triple Crown Ascent. That race is
Mm.
wild in itself, and a whole conversation I'm sure that can be had on it. What was like your favorite part of that race?
Definitely like there was some ladder climb right at the top of the loop of the 23K because for the 46 you do two loops,
Mhm.
and yeah, there was a ladder climb right at the top, and that was just awesome. The photographer up there was Anastasia that does the destination trail races, so I knew her, and yeah, it was just epic being up there because that's way out of my comfort zone, the drop offs and being on a ladder. Like I was like, oh,
Oh,
and then yeah, getting to the top of that and getting that adrenaline rush. Like I love that. That was so much fun. And actually being evacuated in the snow was really cool. Like going down on a chairlift, freezing our butts off. And yeah, it was just a whole epic adventure and totally different to the 200s, everyone just racing off like, yeah, super fast instead of just, moseying along and very
yeah.
different.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
imagine. Do you prefer the faster, like going out, or do you like the 200 style?
I like the
Yeah,
200s. Yeah.
I can completely
Yeah.
understand that.
I'm not built for speed. I need to work on that, but yeah, it's not my strength. I'm like a locomotive, so I just keep going. That's why I prefer the longer. The longer, the better. I shine more the longer it is.
Oh, that's awesome. And before
Yeah.
we get to the Scotland race, how was your experience with the Monster? Inauguration year, first race, first 300, really. So how was that?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was epic. It's so amazing to be able to say I've run 300 miles. I had obviously an awesome crew with Leah leading that up. So, yeah, that was amazing. The race itself was great. I had a fantastic time. I know there were a few teething issues along the way, a few niggles, but to be fair, none of that overly affected me.
Yeah.
They ran out of food at a couple of spots, and yeah, there were a few issues, but I had an amazing time. I had my crew, so I had my own food and stuff as well, so didn't rely too heavily on the checkpoints.
Mhm.
And yeah, I just loved it. With the staggered start, it was great being able to see some of the other runners that you don't normally get to run with. So that was cool, just being able to share a few miles with them as well along the way. And yeah, I just found it an epic adventure. It was, remarkable, beautiful scenery. There were some crappy areas, but you're going to expect that with 200 or 300s, because there's always like commuter sections, as we call it, to get from one trail to the other. So yeah, and I know people whinged about the bike path, but I didn't mind it actually, because it felt easy
Yeah.
compared to like climbing Mount Lemon.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't mind a little bit of bike path and seeing a bit of civilization just to keep
Yeah.
me motivated. But yeah, I just had an amazing time. The weather was great. It was maybe a little too hot in parts, but yeah, it was a fun race, and yeah, definitely glad I did it.
Yeah, very cool. And it's so funny, the bike path. I've heard so many people complain about it. My runner loved it as well. He was like, "This is," he's
Yeah.
a Florida runner. He's like, "This is my jam. Like, I am so ready to be on the flat bike path area." So that's super cool. And it's every race has good, bad, ugly, and this
Hmm.
race I think was done very well, and I'm super excited to see like how it continues to grow. What would you say, with this being the first like longest distance you've ran? Was there anything that like really struck out or stuck out? I'm sorry, that was super like, wow, I didn't think this was going to happen to you.
No, everything kind of stayed the same. Like 200 to 300 miles, it was the same highs and lows, and, sleep deprivation. If anything, it was just focusing on getting a little bit more sleep. And I wish I'd got a little bit more sleep, because I think I lost a lot of time in just, floundering around in the desert in my own world of sleep deprivation. So yeah, I would definitely I had planned on taking more sleep, but then I think I got caught up in the adrenaline during the race and cut that back to an hour a night, instead of saying I'm going to have my 2 hours like I'd planned.
Mhm.
So I think if I was to do a distance like that again, it'd be like, yeah, I'm going to get more sleep this time, because yeah, definitely for me, I mean, maybe it's an age thing as well. Getting older, I need more sleep. So
Mhm.
yeah, that was the only big thing for me, that really changed.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always wonder, like, with because it's even though we say like, oh, it's only 100 miles more, that's a lot, So to know the difference and to see, I've heard a lot of people say one thing was big, that sleep. A lot of people are like, yeah, I probably should have slept a little more, and then like done nutrition a little differently. Other than that, like everyone's like,
Hmm.
yeah, it's pretty much like just running 200, which is wild to say, but a huge accomplishment. And so let's get into the race across Scotland. Um,
Mm.
what piqued your interest on this race? What made you decide about it? How'd you get interested?
Well, hearing Leah talk nonstop about it, she loves the race, absolutely loves it. And when I ran my first ultra, I was living in Scotland at the time. I was living in Edinburgh. So for me, it was like, oh, it kind of piqued my interest, because it was like becoming full circle, right? I started ultra running in Scotland. Now I'm going to go back and run across the whole country. It was a great excuse to go back and see friends, and yeah, see all the old haunts and everything. So yeah, that was really what piqued my interest. Wasn't even bothered about what the route was. It was just the whole idea of it,
Yeah,
really piqued my interest. So yeah, that was what got me hooked. So
that's
yeah, thanks,
awesome.
Leah.
Yeah. Oh, the recommendations of races or how we get involved in them. Half the time, I feel like it is someone like you hear someone talk about it, and you're like, that kind of sounds fun. Or it
Yeah,
sounds so bad that you're like, I definitely need to try that to see if I can go through
yeah,
it. But tell us
exactly.
tell us a little about the race for people that may not know much about this actual race.
Yeah, so it was the 8th year this year that I ran it, and yeah, like I said, it's about 220 miles coast to coast, mixture of terrain. I had forgotten how gnarly the Scottish trails are. I think I've been spoilt being in the US for the last
Mhm.
6 years. Lovely groomed trails, and soft as butter.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got to Scotland, and yeah, it was quickly, rose tinted glasses got ripped off. It was like, oh yeah, I remember what it was like to run in Scotland. Scotland. So yeah, it had coastal paths, which are up and down, sort of rocky paths into bays and things like that. Going through a lot of paddocks with sheep and cows. So yeah, being comfortable with those, people do get trampled by cows. So that was in the back of my head, that they can be more dangerous than the bears.
Yeah.
And, and in those paddocks, although when you look from afar, it looks like they're really smooth, they're not, because they're all rutted from all their prints and, the mud. And so, yeah, really rough going through there. The first half of the race, so the first 100 miles, has quite a lot of bog areas. So if people aren't familiar with bogs, it's ground that looks completely normal until you stand on it, and then it sinks, and you might sink to like ankle deep, maybe knee deep. I've had, not on this race, but instances in Scotland where I've been thigh deep in bog, needing to be pulled out because you're stuck. It's like quicksand. And you can lose your shoe in there. So double knotting is definitely recommended for running in anywhere in the UK. So yeah, quite some bog. So, having to think about foot care in terms of wet feet and everything as well. And yeah, in the UK, they like to do fell running, which is basically straight up mountains instead of switchbacks. So yeah, there was back to that. It was like, there is no trail. We're just like climbing over like heather bushes and like tussocks of everything. And yeah, it's really quite rough, and you're being scratched up by all these bushes. And because they get a lot of rain and it's been quite warm, a lot of it was quite overgrown. So, pushing your way through stuff. And yeah, and then there was some glorious, like, nice trails, some fire road style stuff as well. But yeah, some beautiful, beautiful views along the way. And yeah, the hospitality was amazing. The volunteers and everything were awesome. I know Leah had said she wasn't overly impressed by the food, but for me, it was coming home. And for me, like baked beans on toast, I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Like, give me 2 plates of this stuff. And, they were having like beef stews, and they did a full Scottish breakfast at 200 miles where, I had haggis, bacon, eggs, hash browns, toast, baked beans, like that. Yeah, I was just loving all the food completely. So my crew were getting me like savory pies and sausage rolls from the shops, and yeah, I was just in heaven. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't even think about the nutrition, or what they're serving there. I know it's different, but you don't think as like a runner going out there that it may be something that someone's just not used to, and you're like, this is taking me back home. Like, that's awesome, and I'm sure that was a really nice
Yeah.
to be in there.
And I was worried because, I have done quite a few UK races, and they are renowned for being quite poor with food. Like, it's just some dried up pretzels and flapjacks, and that's it. And you're like, I don't know, I'm going to be able to run 200 miles on UK food. But yeah, they really outdid themselves. Yeah, one place I had macaroni cheese and fries, like double carbing on a
Yeah.
plate. That was like brilliant.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
and the start, of course, you can't forget to mention that it starts with like bagpipes playing, and so that's pretty cool. The start of it is pretty epic down in this bay in Port Patrick, and big flags, bagpipes playing, sun coming up. Like, it's a pretty epic start to the race as well. So yeah, that was really nice too.
Oh, that's awesome. And is that like a norm for races over in the UK?
No, actually, and my husband and I joked about it, because normally UK races, it's kind of like really subdued and kind of like, right, we're going to start the race. 3, 2, 1. It kind of feels like this. But this one was like, there's bagpipes and people cheering. And yeah, it was a real, real fun vibe, which was great. And there was about 180 starters. So yeah, it was a good sort of size crowd as well. So yeah, that was
Yeah.
great.
That's awesome. I love the bagpipes being there. I'm sure that like just put a little touch of like, oh, like super excited and all that. Was this the biggest year they've had with runners?
I believe it might have been, actually. Yeah. Very high DNF rate, which is usual for this race. So it was 53% DNF this year, but tends to be 50 to 60%, which, I should have realized that before I went and not had the rose tinted glasses on, because why is there such a high DNF rate? Yeah. But it really is like the conditions, and yeah, there was quite a few first time 200 milers as well. So Yeah, but also good to see there was a lot of returning people too. A lot of people that have been there 2, 3 years in a row that really loved the race. So yeah, that's always good to see.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah.
it's a good race. It might be a hard one, but it's a good one if the you have runners returning, which is awesome.
Yeah, and another bonus they give you is free photos. Like they pay the photographers themselves, the race organizers do, and like we just had a truckload of photos at the end. I think I've got about 50 amazing photos, which normally you have to pay separately for here in the US. But yeah, over there, I just felt like that was a real bonus because the race itself was only £699, which is like about $800.
Oh,
So for those people that are listening thinking, oh, I couldn't go to Scotland, it's too expensive. It's like, well, the race is cheaper. So by the time you add your flights on, you're probably about the same price as a US race. But you still
yeah,
have to pay accommodation here, you still got to pay it there. So yeah, if you're thinking about, maybe doing an international race, this is one that fits into that affordability because it's no different to paying, 16, 1700 dollars here for a race,
yeah.
essentially. So yeah.
Yeah, that's very, I hate to say cheap because it's
Yeah.
inexpensive. It's a, inexpensive race for that
Mm.
distance and, travel. And then you always have to pay for, well, typically you always have to pay for where you're staying and, groceries and all
Yeah.
that good stuff. So, wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
And then getting pictures
definitely.
for quote unquote free, it's
Yeah,
a bonus. That's awesome.
exactly.
Very cool, very
Yeah.
cool. Now, with this race, is it a normal marked trail? Is it a GPX file? Like, how'd that work?
No, so it's not a marked trail in terms of race markings. So it's run on the Southern Upland Way, which is one of the oldest long distance walking trails in Scotland. I think it might actually be the first official one, technically. So it has got like these wooden posts that have like a symbol burnt into them. And that's kind of the way markings along the way. But obviously, some of them have fallen down, some are covered by bushes. You can't see them at night time. So you are relying on your GPX course on your watch, your phone. You have to carry a map and a compass, which was pretty useless for me because I don't know how to use it. um, so I was relying on my technology. Thank goodness it worked. And it worked a charm. I had it on my watch and I just followed that blue line religiously, which was great because, in Scotland, when the fog comes in, you can't see your hand in front of you. So you just you wouldn't be able to see the markers anyway, even with a torch. So yeah, just following that blue line. And it was great if you're going through a paddock. In the UK, you have lots of paddocks that you go through. We have right of way over there. So you're going through people's farms. If there's not any private property, anything like that, we have the right to roam. So you can go wherever you want. But there's lots of paddocks you go into and you kind of get into it and it's like, right, well, there's got to be a gate or a stile at some end of this paddock, but they can be quite big and there might be cows or sheep in there, so you can't really see where you're exiting. So yeah, the blue line was like the lifesaver throughout for sure to get you to the right spot. And yeah, I relied on it a few times. I'd wave to other people. I'm like, come this way, it's over here. So yeah.
So you didn't notice a struggle with navigation or anything like that because of the Jeep? That's awesome.
Yeah, it was so good. And there was phone service along the whole way as well. I mean, obviously, Gaia works without that, but I think having service helps all those things work better. I always feel like it does anyway, or quicker. So, yeah. And
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
I think I literally pulled Gaia out maybe 2 or 3 times just to double check.
mhm.
Yeah, or maybe to see how far is that checkpoint away. Like,
Yeah,
it feels like it's forever.
yeah.
But yeah, no, that worked really well. So yeah.
That's awesome. And what a like, experience to have where like there's a chance the markings won't be there. And it is very hard to rely on a GPX. I feel like a lot of us as runners were like, we have it, but yet we're always like, so it's nice to know it was useful the whole time and you had no problem with that. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and it was a good lesson to learn as well, because sometimes when you do these races, the animals have taken the markings away or they've blown off, whatever, or locals have stolen them. So yeah, it's quite good to know that your systems work as well and you can rely on them. And yeah, we should always have our routes downloaded on as many things as we can, just for our own safety as well.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And it's crazy. I know like a long time ago, I should say, there, having your GPX wasn't such a thing. A lot of people just like,
Mm,
oh no, they mark the course and we're fine. But I have been in races where people have moved markers and
yeah.
or they've gotten lost or stolen. And I'm on the trail. I'm like, do I follow my watch or do I follow this or what do I do? And it's so much now. It's so much has changed where you follow your Garmin or your Coros or the thing on the app on your phone to get you to where you need to be, which is, I think, so cool what we have now in today in technology. Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I could read a map either. So it would be like,
Yeah.
oh, hopefully this will get me
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, for sure. I know we're way past that now, aren't we? Map reading.
Yeah, yeah, it is like such an ancient thing now. It's so crazy to say.
Yeah.
But what about required gear for the race? Is there required gear? You mentioned the map and stuff. Is it a lot different than what we experience here in the US?
It was probably just slightly less. Still had, you needed your foil, you needed a bivy bag, you needed sort of basic first aid, got to have the map and compass, 500 calories minimum as your emergency food. You had to have like gloves and a head covering, head torch and spare batteries. And you had to have a waterproof jacket up to 10,000 rating. So, the proper tapered seams and everything. So, and you didn't have to have leg coverings, which I know with Destination Trail, you always have to have like pants of some description. So, yeah, you didn't need that. So, yeah, generally, and you had to have a water filter device or tablets. So, yeah, so kind of the usual thing, whistle, things like that. Um, yeah, whistle. I realized on the morning of check-in, I was like, oh, there's not a whistle on my bag. Oh my God. So there's always something, isn't there, where you go to registration, you're like, oh no, how did I not see that?
Yeah, and
Anyway,
it's the
got
last
rescued
minute.
by a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Is it what pack do you have by chance?
I have a Raid Light bag, which I had the 15 litre for this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been arguing with bags for years, and always Raid Light was my first bag in 2013, and I loved it. It's a French brand, and they're just so good. And I just kept thinking, why am I not just going back to Raid Light? So yeah, I bit the bullet a few months ago and got Raid Light bags, and I love the bottles. They've got little straws, so you don't need to like crouch down to get it. It's like it's right there, and just the bag fits like a glove. It has like the boa things to tighten them
Mm.
up, and yeah, it just felt like you weren't carrying a bag. So, and it has the quiver thing for your poles, so you pull it over your head, put the poles in, and flick it back. And that's been a game changer. Like I've been carrying poles. I've had waist belts, which are so annoying because my stomach just blows up after like 50 miles. So then it cuts into me and gives me stomach pain. So then I end up throwing the waist belt away because I'm so annoyed. So this quiver, I'm just like, this is like my favorite bit of kit. Love
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna have to check out
Yeah.
that bag. Knowing it has the quiver
Mm.
like that, that's awesome.
And it had big snack pockets. I've always found with the bags, like there's not enough space at the front to put snacks. And if I have a sandwich in the back of my bag, I'm not stopping to get
Ye
it. I could be starving to death. I am not getting that bag off my back. So I need everything at the front. And yeah, this bag allows me to have that. It's got a nice waterproof zip pocket for my phone. So yeah,
Very
I'm
cool.
in
Now
love
I
with
gotta go
my
check it. I'm
bag.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of looking for a new pack, so that's why I was like, "Oh, let me ask." But yeah,
Yeah.
now I gotta check that out.
Mm.
So going to the race, super exciting. You're, back home, back to experience another 200 because you've done quite a bit of 200s or 200 plus, I should say. What were you feeling? Were you excited? Were you nervous? Let's hear it.
Yeah, excited. I had two friends crewing me, which was great. I didn't even think I'd have one person, and then both of them like jumped up and said, "I'll do it, I'll do it." It's like, okay, great, might as well come along. So I was, yeah, super excited. Had Leah with us as well for the night before, and yeah, definitely started to feel some nerves after checking in. Race registration was like between 5 and 7, and yeah, I could definitely feel during dinner. I was trying to eat my dinner and I'm like, oh, I don't have an appetite. I'm like,
Mm.
shit, I'm nervous. Oh, I didn't want that. But I think if you don't get nervous, you're not really respecting the race. Like there should always be some level of nerves. And I mean, this was my sixth 200 finish. And, it's still, you're at the start line thinking, I don't know if I can do this. Like
Mm.
200 miles is a long way. And I don't think it's until, you kind of get 50 miles in and you're like, yeah, it's like, okay, this is what we're doing. We're comfortable. And yeah, it's probably not until for me about 120 150 miles in that you're like, yeah, I am actually going to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though like I'm confident and I know I can finish, it's just there's so long between the start and the finish that so much can happen and you have so many different lows. And even my crew said to me afterwards, like that first night you were like, we were worried that you were just going to go further downhill and maybe pull the pin because I'd been vomiting, which
Mm.
is normal for me on day one. I just got to find my rhythm. And yeah, but after I had a sleep and then I like reset my body and then I'm like eating really well and yeah, got into the whole vibe of things and yeah, things turned around. But yeah, it's always that first day you're just like, how on earth am I going to do 200 miles? It's so far. And it's so stupid. I think during every 200 I'm going to record myself next time because it's like, right, I'm not doing this anymore. This is just dumb. I'm going to join the gym and do high rocks or something.
Oh, I think so many people think that in multiple races when you're out there and you're like, why did I volunteer
Mm-hmm.
to run, especially at 200 where it's going to be a night, at least at night, potentially 2, 3 nights, like but yet we continue to do it.
Yeah, I know. And it's happens so quick too. Like you cross the line and it's almost instantaneous. Like it's that buzz of finishing that you're like, oh, that was actually really fun. It's like, how are you saying it's fun? It wasn't fun, but it was.
Oh yeah.
It's just nuts how we work. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We're probably all a screw loose up there. I don't know.
Yeah, I always say, like, because we always get told like, "Oh, you're so crazy," and I'm like, "Yeah, like 100%." Like, no one that wasn't like a little off would go do things. But I also think like it's so challenging that majority of us out there like want to go out to see what we can do. It's not so much like this sounds fun. It's more like, oh, I want to see if I can do this, and if I can,
Hmm.
where's that limiter? And then when you can't find that limiter, you just keep signing up for 200-mile plus races. So it's a wild journey.
Yeah. And I always think beforehand, like when I'm going into a race, I'm excited to reach that point where it sucks so completely that you do want to quit. Like, I want to reach that hard place. And then you need to remind yourself when you're in that hard place that this is where you wanted to get to, remember? So just soak it up. This is what
Yes.
you wanted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it makes you a better person. And well, I know it makes me a better person. And I know everyone I've met in the ultras, that from all walks of life, everyone is so different, yet we've got this commonality that yeah just binds us all together, and somehow we're just all friends and out there looking to get the same goal, right? Get to that
Yeah.
finish line, regardless of whether you're 56 hours like Dion at Oregon or you're 170 hours at Arizona Monster. Like, yeah, we're all in it together.
Oh yeah. And it's so true. Like we all have this commonality and we all get it. It's so
Yeah,
wild. And like you
yeah.
have the extremes of like older to younger people running to,
Mm,
experienced to non-experience. And all of us have the same amount of respect for everyone. And we just like it clicks. I don't even know. It's so weird, but it's awesome. It's probably obviously it's one of the reasons I love ultra running, the community aspect. And then getting to
mm.
meet people, being, in a worst case scenario where you're hating life and you're miserable, but someone pops in and just starts chatting with you. And before you know it, you're forgetting how much you hate what you're doing. And you've just made a best friend, which is so cool.
Exactly. And the strangest of best friends, like some of my friends from running, I'm just like, we would never normally be friends. Like, we're so different. But yeah, it's great.
Oh,
Great
yeah,
to just open the horizons of who you know and things like that too. So yeah, it's great.
for sure. And it's so
Mhm.
crazy too. Like you mentioned, like such different people, but it's wild because it's so many different people running too. So it's not like there's a type. We're all different.
No.
It's
Yeah.
such a wide variety. And like I know for sure there's a few of my good friends that I'm like, I would have probably never ran into you in a normal life.
Hmm.
And now we're doing these crazy things and we become really good friends, which is so wild and crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So you get to the race, you're going, let's go back to the race. And what like how the first day, you mentioned that you were a little sick. So what was going on the first day?
Yeah, I think I just struggle to get my body right in terms of struggle to eat, which is always an issue for me. So having to force food down and yeah, trying to get the electrolytes right. And yeah, I just found I was doing a bit of dry retching sort of on the afternoon and dry retching because there's nothing to come up, it's just
Mm.
like, and yeah, so that just really struggle with. And yeah, it was kind of funny actually. There was a guy who'd come to sit beside me on a bench where I'd sat because I was feeling nauseous. And as soon as I just started dry retching, he was like, kind of scurried off. I was like, oh, okay. And then another guy turned up and he was just so sweet. He was like, oh, do you want me to sit with you? I was just like, oh, what a nice guy. I was like, no, I'm going to be good. Just, yeah, carry on. But yeah, so that was, yeah, day one was just a little rough. But yeah, I always find if I have sleep, get some food in me, then it just seems to settle after that. And it totally did. Like I was having 2 plates of food at checkpoints and yeah, really getting the calories up. And so, yeah, it seemed to sort that out. So that was
That's
good.
awesome.
But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
How
yeah.
long did you sleep that first night?
90 minutes.
Very cool,
Yeah.
very cool. Is
Yeah.
that usually
So,
your kind of rule of thumb with 200 miles?
yeah, used to be 60, but yeah, like I said, I feel like I need more sleep as I get older. So I've changed that to 90. Yeah. But
And it works good,
if I,
so yeah.
yeah, works good for me. Yeah, didn't need any trail naps or anything, which I didn't want to do because the ground's so wet there. So having a trail nap kind of would not be possible because you just get wet and cold straight away. So yeah, that and there's a lot of bugs as well. I know I tried to have a nap on the very last day in the afternoon. It was just so hot. I tried to lay in the heather and yeah, just got eaten alive by midges and horse flies. And I was like, I think I'd lay down for like 2 minutes. I was like, oh, I've got to get up. They're just all over me. So yeah, trail naps were not an option. So I had to plan that in as well. So yeah, that seemed to work. Yeah, and the weather itself was very un-Scottish, I must say.
Okay.
You do run the risk of the race being rain completely. Scotland can be terrible weather. It can be 4 seasons in a day. And we actually had quite warm weather. We had one night where it was storms and rain, so I needed the waterproofs at that point. But yeah, apart from that, we were really lucky with the weather. So yeah,
Oh, that's
have to,
awesome. Yeah, that's good to
yeah,
hear.
thank the weather gods for that because yeah, it could be really miserable if it was raining the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine. And I'm assuming when the storm came through, was that the first night?
Was it the first night? I think it was actually the second night. Yeah, yeah.
Very cool.
So yeah, and my crew decided not to tell me how bad the weather forecast was. They just made sure I had my waterproofs with me, pants as well as the top. And they were like, "Oh, we're expecting a little bit of rain." I was like, "A little bit." It was like torrential up there, but okay. I'm glad they didn't tell me because I would have maybe said, "Oh, I'll have a longer sleep or something." But yeah, just had to get out into it. So
Very
yeah.
cool. Very cool. So
Yeah.
before the rain happened, how was the day two out there for you? Anything crazy happen? Everything smooth? How'd it work?
Yeah, that was pretty cruisy. There was a couple of long sections. I think the longest section was like 26 miles between checkpoints. And yeah, it was really nice to have. We had some like pop up checkpoints that were being done by local residents, which was just awesome. And they always seemed to be timed at the perfect moment, because it was warm as well. And you'd be thinking, oh, I'm running out of water. I'm going to have to like filter some of this. Shitty bog water.
Mhm.
And then suddenly you turn a corner and there was like a table with water and Coke and some sweets and things. So, yeah, that was awesome. And there was one on that 26-mile section in particular, this house in the middle of nowhere, like a farmhouse. And the lady was running it, Karen, and she had made 20 cakes, all homemade cakes, coffee, tea. She had bacon balms, sausage balms. And we were just like sitting in her backyard, just having a cup of coffee and a piece of cake. And it just felt really surreal to be, like having this afternoon tea in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, I think day two was actually really fun because of Karen. That was just like the highlight of my day was having homemade cake in someone's garden.
That is so cool. That's like we have a race here and we call them trail angels. Like people just come out and help,
Mm,
and
yeah,
that's so cool. And what a nice
yeah.
little treat during a, not to say miserable, but a rough race that is going on.
Yeah, yeah, long sections, and
Yeah.
yeah, and it was the same with the race organizers. You know, you'd be climbing up some mountain and suddenly you'd see this high vis vest, and they were just people up there just making sure you're okay. They'd pitched a tent in the middle of the mountain, and they were just checking everyone was okay. And it was like, it was reassuring because, you know, sometimes in these races you do feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, and if something happens, how's anyone going to get to me? But then you would see people, and yeah, that was really nice to see, comforting.
Oh
Just
yeah,
to,
that's awesome.
yeah, yeah, have a friendly face and know someone was around.
Yeah, I've never heard. I mean, I've heard of race directors going out and checking in, but having someone actually like stationed midway through a section or aid to aid, that's super nice.
Yeah,
That's super reassuring, especially nighttime or long, mountainous trails where you're hiking up and you're like, "Am I okay?"
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Am I in the right place? Lisa's reassuring for that too.
For sure, for sure. So
Yeah.
second night, any issues? Did you sleep again the second night?
I did, yeah, had a same thing, 90 minutes, because the rain had started. So I thought I'll get 90 minutes. And when I got up, it was just sort of drizzling before the real rain started. So yeah, my crew sent me on my way and into the night and into the rain. So yeah, that was all good.
Awesome.
Was yeah, powered through the rain, and my waterproofs are amazing. Yeah, since doing Divide 200 last year, where we had 48 hours of rain, I was so impressed with my Columbia jacket that I bought the pants as well. So now, if I'm in waterproofs, I am waterproof. Like they really work. So I was really happy to have those for that section.
Oh, that's awesome. And yeah,
Yeah.
waterproof pants, jacket truly make a difference in a race where it is pouring down raining. I know like some races it is like a sprinkle here and there where it's like, oh, this is refreshing. But when
Yeah.
it's pouring down raining for a long time, that is very, very key to have out there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you can't go cheap on that. You got to have the good stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%. And then how'd the rest of the race go? Any other lows? You mentioned being sick and all that, which is kind of norm. But any significant lows during your race?
No, I mean, the third night I got really tired, even though I had had the 2 nights sleep. I hadn't yet had my third night's sleep. And yeah, getting to that checkpoint where I was going to sleep was really long. I was really struggling. I was playing music out loud, having my own rave party in the forest because there was no one around me. And yeah, then I started phoning friends. So I actually forgot which country I was in and rang my cousin who lives in the Netherlands, who is on the same time zone as the UK, give an hour. But yeah, so I rang her at 3:30 in the morning, thinking I was in the US and it would be daytime for her. She just cracked herself up because she's like, "I can't believe you've forgotten what country you're in." I'm like, "Yeah, sorry." um, then rang my husband and rang another friend in Canada, and yeah, just kind of killed probably an hour and a half chatting to people just to keep me awake. And yeah, before I got to the checkpoint, I was in a really bad days, and I was actually found myself stopping in the paddock talking to people that weren't actually there. I'd
Oh
be like
no.
mid conversation. I think I was working out plans for like dinner or something, we were going out, and then I'd like the person would like disappear. I'm like, oh, I'm not, there's no one there. I'm like, shit, I better just keep moving. So I think I lost a lot of time just standing in paddocks talking to imaginary people. And I can't even blame the sheep because I didn't see sheep, they weren't there. There was nothing there.
Oh
So
god.
yeah, that was a very long section. One of those sections where you just feel like there's no end. Like every paddock looked the same, and I was starting to get deja vu. I was just like, have I been here before? Am I like going in circles? Yeah, that was getting a little frustrating.
Oh, I can imagine. Do you hallucinate often?
Normally, yeah, unless I have paces, and this race actually doesn't allow paces. So
Oh.
yeah, that is different to the US races. But I find if I have paces, then your brain's being kept more active because you're having to talk. So yeah, if I don't have paces, I tend to go into some hallucinations. But they're kind of weird because I always know they're not real, but you kind of find yourself going into them and like living in the moment, and then you're like, but this isn't real. But this is great. So
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of enjoy them as well in a weird way.
It's like that mid distraction that you need. It's like your brain trying
Yeah,
to save you, like, hey, we're gonna see some weird things, but you're okay and it's fine. Just keep going.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah. And
So
then got a
next
bit of a
morning, wake
sleep.
up, third day, second, yeah, third night, third
Fourth day,
day, fourth
fourth
day.
day. There, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
How'd that work?
yeah,
Let's hear that.
yeah. I mean, that was a hot day. I know I needed to change out of my leggings that morning, and I didn't want to take my shoes off anymore because my feet were starting to swell and it was hurting to put them back into my shoes. And yeah, it was quite funny being in the checkpoint there. At one point, I was sat with my leggings pulled off. So I'm sat in my underwear while my friend is cutting my leggings off because I'm like, I can't take my shoes off, just cut my leggings off. And people are like, you can't cut the leggings. I'm like, yes, you can, just cut them, get them off me. And I'm sitting there eating breakfast while I'm in my underwear and my leggings are being sliced off my legs.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah, that's the things and other people around, other runners, but it's totally normal in ultra running to be in that situation. So yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
it's funny how I feel like we don't bat an eye at the oddest things that we do because it's just like, yep, like it's understandable.
yeah, totally. Yeah, so the last day was really hot. It was probably in the 80s, which for Scotland is super hot. And I've even probably just can't see them anymore, but I got tan lines from my gloves. Oh, you can just see the
Oh
line.
yeah, yeah, you can see
I
it.
did not get that at Arizona Monster. I got tan lines in Scotland. I
Oh,
mean, that's how hot it was. And yeah, it was very exposed the last day. A lot of the hills in Scotland don't have trees on them, just very low shrubs. So when it is hot, you're very exposed. And it is quite humid as well because of all the water and everything around. It just, yeah, makes it really, really humid. So yeah, it was a long last day, and I kind of thought I'd be finished before the night hit, but I ended up going into that fourth night and yeah, not finishing until like 3 in the morning. So yeah, the last 10 miles I thought were going to be great. We kind of hit the road and it was like, yeah, we're on road now, woohoo. But then the last 5 miles it went back to coastal path and it was like rickety steps up and down and back up and rocks and overgrown, like having to go under trees and stuff. And it's like, oh my God, the last 5 miles, I thought I could get this done in an hour, but like took 2.5 hours. It was just never ended. But at that point, it was just about getting to the finish. And yeah, you finish in this small coastal town. So of course you're not seeing anything either. I could see like a light on the water for some boat. And I'm just like, where on earth am I? Where is this town? Like there's nothing. You start to just hate life really. And yeah.
that's
But yeah, to get to the finish and the buckle is huge.
huge. I saw your picture.
Yes, yeah, it is big. And the fun thing with it is too, and I was really pushing to finish in the top 75 because the first 25 get a gold buckle. And if you're 26 to 75, you get a silver buckle, and then 76 onwards get a bronze buckle. So, for me, it was just a little carrot, because at one point I was just out of the 75s and it
Mm.
was like, I need to get back into the 75s. And I think I ended up finishing in the 50s somewhere. But it was like, I really want that silver buckle. I don't want a bronze buckle. I want a silver one. So it's just that little thing that yeah kept pushing me along a little bit. And yeah, if you're actually on the podium, you get like your buckle has multicolors, so you have the gold, silver and bronze on there. So yeah, some pretty cool things there as well. But yeah, nice to get a massive buckle because you run these 200 miles and you get this little buckle that's like the size of your palm. It's like that's it. I mean,
Yes.
I know they're beautiful and nice artwork and all that, but it's like, yeah, I like them a little bigger.
Yeah, for each 100, it should get a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger.
Yes.
But I love the
But
idea they do with the color changing. That's super different, but
mm,
that's super intriguing. Makes you kind of push for those, finishing a little quicker to get that different color. And then I do that your buckle is ginormous. I saw a picture of it. I was like, oh my gosh. So that
yeah,
is also really cool. What amazing buckle to get into the collection that you have for sure.
yeah. I know you want to do it just for the buckle,
I
right?
know I might. It's kind of honestly, the race is very tempting. Leah has talked very highly of it, and now
Mm.
you are also making it sound just as intriguing, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. So
Mm.
after you finish, you get your belt buckle. What was probably the biggest thing that you learned during this race? Because I know you've done quite a bit of 200s and a 300. What was like a big lesson for you?
I guess the big lesson is I need to work on my speed. I need to get quicker. I feel like I could do better. I need to, run a bit faster and yeah, just be able to push myself more throughout. So yeah, for me, going back to training, we'll be working on some speed work. I know I can do the distance. I've done 6 of them now. It's like, okay, you've proven you can slog it through. It's like you need to start changing things up. And yeah, it's quite funny because I coach people as well for running, and they all improve because they're actually following my training plan and doing the speed work, doing the hill repeats, whereas I'm like, nah, I'm just going to go and have a run and, hike some mountains and take some photos. It's like, yeah, maybe I should either get a coach or follow my own training more specifically. But yeah, it's very easy to be not accountable to yourself. I think that's why, yeah, my clients are always improving and getting faster, and I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
need to do what I say. um, but yeah, no, I really learnt also that the food, I normally do struggle to eat. And from that second day where I was like eating like so well, it just made such a difference to my energy levels and how I felt in terms of positivity and everything as well. That, I do know that already, but it was obviously a very strong reminder that, yeah, that works really well,
Mhm.
eating. So yeah, everyone just eat.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's so true. And I love that you
Yeah.
say, like, you as a coach and you know you need to do the things, but it's always easier to kind of put it off and be like, yeah, it is what it is. But we all do that. So you're not alone there. But yeah, I feel like nutrition plays a huge part, and a lot of people don't realize how impactful a full like stomach body
Hmm.
will do in a race, not only for you physically but mentally as well. So it's always a good reminder.
Yeah, and that was my mantra going into it. It's just food fixes everything. If you're feeling low, food helps. If you're feeling sick, food does actually help. If you're feeling happy, it still helps. Like it
Yeah,
just, yeah, it makes you happier. So,
yeah,
yeah, food is your friend.
yeah. It's so
Yeah.
true. But it is not always the easiest to get down during some of these races. That's for true.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's finding what works. And yeah, obviously baked beans on toast is a winner for me. So
Yeah.
yeah, I have to start bringing that along to races.
I was gonna say, yeah, you'll have to start packing your own baked beans and toast for the US races.
Yeah, and my foot care was on point. I thought with all those bogs and things, yeah, I was really pleased with how I looked after my feet. I ended up with one small blister on my little toe after
Wow.
220 miles. So yeah, my feet were awesome. So
Yeah.
yeah, very happy with that.
Yeah, and that's very impressive because you mentioned, like, having the wet ground, all the bogs, and also
Mm,
so you went through quite a bit, and to only have one little blister, that's incredible.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Very cool. So, what do you have planned next? Any races for the end of this year or next year yet?
Yes, unfortunately, I still need to do a Western qualifier. So, yeah, I'm going to have to press that button on Rio del Lago 100. The price goes up at the end of this month, so I'll probably do that in the next day or two. So, I'll have to do that. And yeah, that is it for the rest of the year, she says.
Yeah.
You never know. But yeah, no, leave that for now and then see what happens with the lottery draw for next year for Western. And I'm on the wait list for Cocodona. I'm like 257th, but people say probably get in.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh, do I leave that week free or do I, because I'm probably not going to find out until probably March time, I would imagine, being that far down. So yeah, we'll wait and see. But yeah, a few things thinking about for next year, seeing as though don't want to do any more 200s. I might do Mammoth 200 or Oregon 200. I'd like to come back and yeah, run that one instead of crewing it. And yeah, my husband's actually running the Ultra Gobi 400K this year in October in China.
Oh,
And
so cool.
he did it last year and he's doing it again this year. And it's actually a self-navigating, self-supported race. Obviously, different language, so that it's quite a big challenge. You're not having your hand held over there, no crew, no paces, nothing. So that kind of intrigues me as well, even though that would be brutally hard. Yeah, just the way he talks about how amazing the race is, I'm like, oh, maybe I could do that next year. So yeah, we'll wait and see. But that would definitely be on the list to do. I think that is definitely like a step up from what I have been doing, and yeah, that would be quite really scary to plan your own route and just do all the things. But
Yeah.
in such a beautiful country and have a totally different experience, yeah, I think would be really fun as well.
Yeah,
Type 2 fun.
yeah, yeah, type 2 fun for sure. And that'd be another way to push yourself.
Mm,
You've accomplished so many 200s now. Not saying it's easy, because it's never
no,
probably going to be easy, but now you're like, how can I push myself again? And that would be definitely a way to
yeah,
do it.
in a different way, like, yeah, different challenges. So yeah, that could be, yeah, because I am very reliant on having people look after me. So I think, yeah, it would be interesting to have to go it alone, and
Oh yeah,
really go it alone. So yeah, that could be fun.
for sure, for
Mm,
sure. But that's very
yeah.
exciting. And so you mentioned your coach too. So you coach all
Mm.
distances.
Yes, all distances. Currently coaching one lady for a 50 miler. And then, yeah, I've just actually had Eric, a guy I was coaching, finish the Bigfoot 200, and yeah, and everything in between. So, yeah.
Very cool, very cool. I will have all of your links. I'll get them from you, and we'll stick them in the show notes, so that way you can, if anyone wants to reach out, they can reach out to you. Is there a
Awesome.
best place for people to reach you? Email or social media?
Probably just Instagram. I'm running Dutchy on Instagram. I'm Dutch born, so yeah, running Dutchy. Um, that's probably my most popular place to be is Instagram.
Very cool. Yeah, I'll have all the links so people can get in touch. And
Mm,
that's where we talk. So it is one of the easier platforms to communicate for sure, and to follow along. You post all of your races. You post so much, so you're truly inspiring people with what you're doing and everything. So it's so awesome to follow along, and you doing in these amazing races. So thank you
yeah.
truly for being on the podcast. But before I let you go, I have one question that I like to ask everyone that's on the podcast. So we've kind of talked about it. The community is so amazing, and the way we get to meet and greet and what we do within the community is amazing. The podcast is called The Tribe of Runners. With all
Mm.
that being said, what does the word tribe mean to you within the running world?
Well, I guess it's that feeling of belonging, being part of something that, yeah, you just immediately become friends with people because you belong in that community. And yeah, and everyone belongs immediately. Like there's no, you know, you don't have to pass any tests or qualifications. It's like you just need to be there. So yeah, I really like that. I'm very much a personable person. Ever since I was a kid, I'm always the one going up to people, almost like being, "Will you be my friend?" Basically, like I just want to be friends with everyone. So yeah, that's what I really love about the tribe of runners is the fact that everyone does want to be my friend. So that's great. I love it.
It's so true. And it is such an amazing community where we've mentioned there's so many different walks of life out there, and we all just get it. And we're all like, hey, do you want to go for a run? And then we're instant friends. So it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Very
hopefully we can go for a run together one day.
I know, I
'Cause,
know.
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
ever plan to come out to Florida? Any Florida races pique your interest?
Not races, but we'll probably be there for work, probably next Christmas, sort of December, January time. So yeah,
Definitely
be
let me know,
around.
and we will link up and go hit some humid miles. If it's in January,
Yeah.
December, it should be kind of cooler for us, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, still humid.
Yeah.
When you get there as a non-Florida person, it's like, oh my goodness. But
Yeah,
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 it's
for sure.
probably,
Yeah, you may hate life for a little bit, like the first few days that you're there with all the humidity out here, but it's a great area. You just have to deal with the hot summers, so just don't come in the summertime. That's all I say.
yeah, no, definitely not.
Yeah, very cool. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast and sharing your story. Amazing race of the race across Scotland. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.